Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House knows that there's an organic correlation between the level of narcotic drug abuse and the frequency and severity of crimes in every society, including Nigeria. It is therefore not surprising that those arrested for various crimes, many of them are drug addicts or traffickers. The House further knows that the incident of drug abuse and addiction know no age limit. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, illicit drug addiction has deeply permeated in Nigerian society, so much so that young people of 15 years old and below are now heavy narcotic drugs users. And this has ruined many of our youth, whom we call leaders of tomorrow. House regrets that the upsurge in illicit drug abuse has created an underground economy where crimes flourish as opportunistic criminals now battle for top and proceeds, while at the same time exploiting and corrupting the legitimate business environment of the country. This is antithetical to the corporate image of Nigeria, and no country wants its economy to be influenced by drug barons. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is as a result of the danger of narcotic drug addiction that the immediate past president constituted the Advisory Committee on the Elimination of Drug Abuse. So far, government at all levels, and particularly the federal government, has continued to pay lip service to the war against illicit drug abuse, as the NDLA, the agency statutorily set up to wage war against the narcotic drug abuse, remains underfunded, understaffed, and ill-equipped. It will interest you to know that even as we speak today, many of the arms and ammunition used to prosecute this war, especially in the hinterland, aside Lagos and Abuja, many of the arms were arms used during the Nigerian Civil War. And this cannot be tolerated, because while the traffickers and drug barons have sophisticated arms, the NDLA still battle with what they call shakabula arms and ammunition. Concerned that cannabis is described by the World Health Organization as the most abused drug globally because it is commonly used. It is a commonly used drug in Nigeria, and this can be found virtually in every nook and cranny of the country. Also concerned of the growing trend of synthetic and designer drugs by Nigerians, coupled with the increase in the number of household items and other easily accessible narcotizing agents like amphetamine, methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, plantina, glue, codeine lace, cough syrup, cement, and animal excreta, which are widely abused in Nigeria. Worried that the tragic phenomenon now affects all strata and demographic groups of our country, it is pertinent for government at all levels, the organized private sector, and the family unit work closely to combat these menace. For if we fail to destroy narcotic drug abuse will destroy Nigeria. The House resolves that the federal government declares a state of emergency in this sector so that we can frontally attack the drug scourge. The House urges the federal government to develop preventive strategies such as creating a general as well as a demographically targeted enlightening campaign against drug abuse and its consequences, and to redirect the NOA, National Orientation Agency, to devise enlightenment campaign program against drug abuse in Nigeria. 3, urge the federal government to increase the budgetary allocation to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLA and ensure that the agency gets its funding directly from the presidency, as was the case when it was set up in 1989. Direct all relevant federal government-head institutions to develop new and improved treatments to help people with substance abuse disorders to recover and achieve a normal life for the productivity of our country. prevail on the federal government to establish functional rehabilitation centers which will have the financial and bureaucratic status of specialist hospitals with psychiatric, psychologists, toxicologists, professional counselors, and other experts to manage these hospitals. Lastly, mandate the committees on narcotic drugs and healthcare services to ensure the implementation of the resolution and report back within 6 weeks for further legislative council. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.